Okay, I started with a 20 ounce, a 25 ounce, and a 35 ounce from the Stainless Steel Depot. These actually have three different types of lids to them, so and I'll show that to you later. What I was showing you here is that I use a pool noodle and I hot glue them to my rods. And that way you don't have to use any kind of shelf liner or anything like that. They just suction right in there and it works beautifully, especially for these long cups. They fit nicely in there. The 20 ounce, they don't, but I use just a different type of foam insert for that. Now these I got from the Vinyl Creation and they are stunning. The vibrancy, the color and everything, the detail of these is absolutely beautiful. You just have to see them in person. The Sugar and Spice Glitter Company designed this collection. It is the Bridgerton collection. Excuse me. As you can see, this is Lady Danbury and the Queen, and I thought that fun animal print would go great with those for those two ladies, you know. And then this next color, this I thought for sure would be for the Featherington. This is Lady Whistledown and the Featherington color here. Now the Featherington one is like that shattered type of look. And then the Lady Whistledown is such a pretty soft pink. And so I thought that these would be kind of fun to go with this floral, this bright floral. Definitely for the Featherington look. They were my favorite as far as the way they dressed. So then this last one is what I'm going to use for Your Grace and Duchess. And those were obviously very important characters to the story and what I loved their love story. Anyways, it's a beautiful, this white is almost has kind of a matte, but then there's a shimmer too. It's very cool. You have to see it in person. And Duchess is a gorgeous champagne-y, almost rose gold. It's gorgeous. She really outdid herself with these for sure. So this was for the Featherington and the Lady Whistledown color glitter. Now I wanted to use a bright yellow because that yellow glitter is actually kind of opalescent and kind of see-through. So I wanted a more vibrant yellow to come through. And then obviously the blush pink is going to go perfect for that Lady Whistledown color. Now here is the Lady Danbury and the Queen. The Queen, I really wanted to use like a champagne-y kind of color, but I didn't have it. So I just went with the blush, but I really like it in the end. And then the darker pink, I didn't want to go with the maroon because I wanted that to be a lighter color coming through. Now this one is the Duchess and Your Grace. Now this was perfect. I just used a rose gold metal color and a white, and it worked perfectly for that. I just wanted to show real quick on the glittering. I didn't do any kind of ombreng or anything like that with the glitter. I didn't try to make one blend with the other. I literally just put one color in one spot and the other color in the other because there's no need, because we're going to be putting a vinyl wrap in the middle there. Or a little bit further down, but so you don't need to make it look really good. We're just going to be covering that up. Okay, I wanted to go over this part. This is a crucial step if you are using this type of glitter. You have to pat that down. If you do not, you will have a nightmare on your hands later on after you epoxy. The first layer of epoxy that I put on this thing, it was like shards of glass were sticking out. Even after I patted this down for a good 2 to 3 minutes, I I patted this down. So it is crucial that you do that step. If you do not, it will be even worse than what it actually ended up. And I actually had to end up putting 2 coats, and I had to sand in between each one really well. So this is very, very important. Do not skip this step. So you first saw me using a glove. That was because I knew I was going to have a ton of that glitter all over me. So I used a glove for that part. This part, I'm just checking to see exactly if there's any more spots. And I did roll it in that parchment paper. Now, those are very important steps. Do not skip this if you are using this type of glitter. I was just admiring the sparkle. These glitters were absolutely gorgeous. She really outdid herself here. I loved the color combinations that I decided to use with the vinyl. So I was just taking a look at them before we started to do the polyacrylic, which that step is next. So I have talked about this before, but this polyacrylic I use is a clear gloss polyacrylic, and I use it in this big can that I buy, and it is the best. It is 100% the best in my opinion. Spray sealers, whatever it is, this is the best way to do it, to lock that glitter in, to make sure that it does not move, that it does not mix. It is truly, truly, truly the best thing in my opinion. I go from the light colors here. I went from all the light colors to the bottom colors. And what I did was I cleaned my brush in between the light and then the bottom colors. You can do that because a polyacrylic is a water-based product, so it's not going to cause anything. It's not going to make it have any kind of chemical issues or anything like that. So I just wash it off. I do dry it a little bit, like I was showing you. I did dry it on my little paper towel. I pat the bottom. It really is the best thing. So here I'm showing, this is the first layer of epoxy. I did actually 2 layers on the 20 ounce and the 35 ounce. I ended up having to do a 3rd layer on the middle one there. And I did have to sand and knock off a lot of burrs on that bottom part, on that middle cup there. That's why it was so important, so crucial that you actually did pat that down, because I guarantee it would have been a lot worse had I not done that. But I did do 2 coats and then another coat on that middle one. And then I was ready to go to the next step in applying my vinyl. So I did measure the cup and I came up with like a little over 2 inches. I ended up cutting about 3 inches because I kind of wanted to decide. I didn't want to make a decision right away on how thick, but I did decide that I was going to cut it a little bit smaller. And I kind of had to even it up a little bit on both sides. I kind of cut it at a cattywampus, kind of style. But so I kind of got it straight, and I figured that this was the perfect size for what I wanted to do, because I was going to put a border vinyl on the outside too. So I didn't want it to take up too much room on the cup. Here, I decided to show you exactly how I measured the cup. I just took a sewing measuring tape here and just kind of measured out about 2 inches. I was like, yeah, that's probably about it. I ended up cutting it a little bit less, but that's just kind of what you need to do with your size of cup. Just kind of figure out what size is going to work for you. So that worked out well. So here's what I was talking about earlier. This thing came with like 2 different lids. Some of them came with like a little snacking thing that you put on. Anyways, what I needed to do was, because they were a screw top lid, I needed to figure out where I wanted to put the monogram, because obviously you want the outside to be away from where you're drinking, where you wanted the whatever, the monogram or whatever you were going to put on there. So here I was trying to decide, because I wanted the print to be in a different spot. These were a little bit more difficult than I had planned in the beginning. I actually had a really hard time putting these on because they were not a full straight cup. So there was a little bit of flaws in there. I would advise in the future, if you were going to do this style, definitely do something that is a full straight, because I had a little bit of trouble, but you really honestly, you cannot tell. I was able to pop the bubbles and work it out and figure it out. Now here I'm just wrapping the black vinyl. I used a black vinyl around there, and then I'm actually going to use this beautiful metal textured vinyl that I'm going to put on top of that to kind of give it an extra dimension. I was cutting underneath to get the excess off of there. Now here I'm showing you this kind of textured metal vinyl. I thought it read really well with the animal print. So basically, I just kind of wanted to show you can kind of think outside the box. You can use, contrasting, complementary colors, and just kind of bring out different textures and different feels from the glitter to the vinyl, and the print, that kind of thing. So that's just kind of what I was showing. This did end up looking stunning with these colors and everything. I was very pleased. Here was another one. Like I said, I'm being honest. It was very difficult to put this on because it was not a straight cup. So if you're going to do a design like this, I would definitely advise doing a full straight cup, because I had some difficulties with stretching the vinyl and pulling it and everything. But in the end, honestly, you could never tell. I popped a lot of bubbles and kind of had to fix and pull and tug, but you couldn't tell in the end, not at all. So with this one, I definitely wanted to keep it simple and elegant. The Duchess, the Daphne, she just was so gorgeous in her costume, so simple, but so elegant. And so I wanted to go simple and elegant just with that rose gold vinyl. I just wanted to pull out a little bit of that color from the bottom glitter. And it really, really made this cup really sophisticated. I was very, very pleased with the outcome of this particular one. So like I was saying with this cup, this is 3 layers of epoxy, and I was just making sure that there wasn't any kind of bumps or any spots that I needed to get on that middle part where we were going to put that vinyl. So I just kind of went around that area there and a little bit around the rest of the cup. So I don't know if you're like me, but when you go to Walmart, you have to go to the clearance section. But I always look for little hidden gems, and I found this little pack of box cutters that you see here. It's like a little pack of 3 of them, and I use them all the time to trim up my cups. And you can break the piece off and get a fresh cut piece. So I just love this, and they were cheap, so. So like I was saying before, I would definitely use a straight up and down cup like this one here if you're going to do this type of vinyl wrap around the middle. I wasn't thinking about it in the beginning because I had a plan but wasn't 100% sure and this kind of thing. So, and this is what I ended up with. But that's just my advice. But I did actually make the other 2 work just fine. But if you want to be easy, if you're going to multi-produce these, if you're going to be doing a lot of them, I would definitely suggest just going with the straight. So I decided to pull out a little bit of that teal color that was in some of the leaves here. And I used a teal. And then I went over it with that yellow stripe there. And I just kind of like the contrasting colors. I just wanted to kind of show y'all the different ideas that you could do with each one of these cups, and just putting different colors and different textures, different patterns, and that kind of thing together. I was really pleased with all 3 of these cups and how they turned out. They each had such a unique look to them. And I loved pulling out a little bit of that yellow here and on the top of that, just having that teal on the bottom and the yellow. I don't know. I just really like the way all the glitters kind of work together and the vinyls work together. So I was happy. So this was the progression of these cups coming about. I actually found this company, the Vinyl Creations, and I found all of these beautiful prints, and I bought a whole bunch of them, and I have all these plans for these prints. But then Sugar and Spice Company came out with their Bridgerton collection, and when I got it and I got it, came to my house, I opened it up and I said, oh my goodness, all of those vinyls that I bought from the Vinyl Creation are going to work beautifully together. This is going to be an amazing little collection. So what I had in my head was that I wanted to do this right here, was use that pattern vinyl as a base underneath that rose gold, or just in general, just use it as a base underneath the monogram instead of doing like just a plain black or pulling out a different color, was using that pattern vinyl underneath. I thought it was such a great little touch. It just really elevated this look and made it look so special. So you'll see here with my E, because I decided that I wanted the Lady Danbury and the Queen Cup for myself, but I used the black vinyl that we used on the stripes, and I used the animal print on that we used in the middle, and then I did the rose gold look, that metal vinyl for the top. So everything was kind of layered on top, just like the stripes. So I thought it really looked really cool. It came out very unique, really different than you normally see. So after I applied both the monograms, I put a coat of Mod Podge on them, and then I put the final 2 layers of epoxy on each one of the cups. Thank you for watching, and I hope this inspires you to go and do something outside of the box and pull out those fun printed vinyls and come up with something really cool and unique. And thank you for watching.